Today I'm going to talk about my favorite game mechanism in Topiary. This is one of the last few games that I played at Geekway to the West about over a month ago now, but I've not talked about it yet. So it's a little fuzzy in my memory, but I played it a couple times because it's super easy to teach, and it was a really nice break at the convention, to play something lighter with very few rules that didn't take very long. It felt very relaxing. Topiary is a game, I don't have it, so I'll show you a picture of that I took at Geekway. Topiary is a game where you are, you start out with this grid of tiles that's accessible by all players, and on your turn, you are placing a meeple either next to, like next to a tile or on the corner of a tile, and that meeple is essentially looking down that row or that diagonal line of tiles. When you do that, you'll pick one face-down tile in that row, you'll pick it up and put it in your hand, and then you'll take any tile from your hand, including that tile, and you'll put it down in that place face up. So you have influence over where your meeples are placed and where they're looking, as well as the tiles they are looking at. The reason this matters, and the reason that I'm talking about this, is my favorite mechanism is that line of sight matters in this game in a way that's unique to line of sight. Line of sight is usually used in terms of like tactical combat games where you're deciding what your character can see, what they can shoot, what they can engage with. Here, line of sight is used because you are trying to align your meeples so that at the end of the game, they see the most topiaries. And they do this by seeing, like if I have a meeple here, say this is my red meeple, and this tile right here is a 1, and say this tile at the end of the game, well, this one could be face down at the end of the game. So say this tile, this is face up. Say this is a 3. 3 is greater than 1. It's bigger than 1. And so my meeple can see that because he's looking at the small plant and the big plant behind it. But if this tile down here, in fact, this is actually a 1. Since this is a 1, my meeple can't see it because it's too small. It's hidden behind the 3. I love this concept. It's one of those concepts that's abstracted well in the game, but it reflects perfectly on the real life version of this theme. In that if you are at a garden and you are looking at plants, and there's a small plant behind a big plant, you can't see it. But if you can see a bunch of plants in ascending order, then you have a beautiful line of sight, a beautiful view in front of you. So it reflects perfectly in this game. And I like that you have two pieces of control. You have the control over where you place your meeple, and you have a little bit of control of which plants are actually in that row. This also creates some interesting player interaction because you're kind of always looking at where other players' meeples are and how you might be able to block their line of sight a little bit without impeding your own line of sight too much. One of the reasons I thought about mentioning this game now, other than the fact that it's a pretty cool mechanism, is that there's a game on Kickstarter called Tang Garden right now. And Tang Garden also has a line of, not complete line of sight like this, but you are placing people in the garden and you're wanting them to see certain vistas that are placed vertically on the board. I'll put a link below in the comments. I have no association with this campaign, but I thought it was cool that it has this idea of what your characters or what you are actually physically seeing in the game and how that impacts your points in the game. I'm working on a game that doesn't have this type of line of sight, but it matters what you at any given time can actually see with your own eyes, and that has an impact on what you can do in the game. So anyway, if you have any other examples of line of sight mechanisms that you really like, whether it's in a combat game or in a game like this or Tang Garden, or any game where exactly what you can see at any given time, what you or the characters can see, has an impact on your success in the game, I'd love to hear about that in the comments. Thanks.